Hey again, welcome to Coding with Drew. In this section, we're going to talk about alias. And to talk about alias, we have to talk about a subject called source. And this leads us into the following section called path. And to understand why we're going to talk about all of that, let's first go into our development directory. And I've got my iTerm open. I'm going to just make this a little bit bigger so it's less difficult for you to read. And I'm going to say cd tilde slash dev slash bash. And inside of this directory, we created our file. Let's look at the permissions. So we've already set the permissions to read, write, execute for the owner, and read and execute for the group and the public. And so if we want to run this command, we learned that all we have to do is /hello world and it'll work. So the output is hello world. Now the dilemma is that if I'm in any other directory, so I'm going to go up one directory and I try to run the exact same command and press return, it will return no such file or directory. And this is because this file is located in another directory and my terminal is unaware of this as a universal command. It's just a command that lives inside of dev that's sourced locally using /. Now, if I wanted to run hello world, and I'll show you cd bash, if I wanted to just run hello world .sh command, it doesn't recognize it as a command. It's just a file. And so we have to do a couple things to make this work the way we want it to. So let's clear out everything that you see here. And we're going to switch to our bash terminal. Now there's some subtle differences with aliases in bash and ZSH. One of them is that aliases stick around in ZSH and they don't in bash. And so I want you to understand this difference. So switching to bash, and you can tell that you're in bash because it will say bash and it is white and black, and my ZSH terminal has some color and some flavor. And so we're going to clear this out. If we go back into one of the previous topics we discussed, and we made a change to this file, CSHRC, located inside your home directory. Now I'm just going to cat it. Now you can see that I have alias grep equals grep with the color flag. This way I don't have to type in color every time I type in grep. And this, the whole purpose of alias is to make shortcuts or rename a command to whatever works best for you. In fact, I could make grep just a G by saying G alias G equals. Now, in bash, we don't put spaces between equals marks, just as a side note. We put double quotes and then we say grep. Now, if I press return and I type in G, do a search for pork in tilde slash dev slash bash slash bacon slash pork.txt. I search for that. You can see that it still doesn't have any color, but G worked as the alias. So the reason why it doesn't have any color like it does in ZSH, and I'll show you the same command in ZSH. Now, if I can't use G because it's not available, but I'll demonstrate that too. So if I run G pork, G is not found because I haven't created the alias inside of ZSH. And this is the point that I'm trying to drive home, is that each shell is different unless you set your customizations in actual files. So if I grep pork, you can see that it's in color, and this is because we set it up in the ZSHRC file. Now ZSHRC loads every time you say ZSH, and ZSH runs every time a new terminal is open. Or now bash, every time you load bash, will open a very similar file to the ZSHRC file. So ZSHRC is located in your home directory. So bash does the same thing. It will load a file that's here, and we'll take a look. ls lah. And so we're inside of this bacon directory. We need to do cd to our home directory, ls lah. And now you can see that there's this file called bashrc with a dot in front of it. And dot means hidden. This is why we had to do the -lah. And then there's the .zshrc. So every time I open zsh, this file will load, and any command that's in it will automatically run. Same thing with bash. Whenever you run bash, everything inside of this. So let's see what's inside of tilde/dot bash rc. Well, there's nothing in there. So let's add that grep color in there. So let's see, nano tilde/dot bash rc. All right. Now we're going to create an alias, and we're going to say grep equals quote grep -- color. And we're going to press Control X to close, Y to save. And we're not going to change the file name, so we're just going to press return. All right. Now if I go to ZSH, and then I come back to bash, and then I do the same grep command that I ran before. So I'm going to say grep orc, and I'm going to do this in the tilde dev/bash/bacon/orc.txt. And so you can see now it's in color, even though we're in the bash shell. This is great, but now you have two files you have to update anytime that you want to load your settings. And so my suggestion is to use .profile. And so we're going to make the same change to both files, but then we're only going to make future changes to one file. So let's do that now. All right. So we're going to nano. Let's clear this out so it's a little cleaner. Nano tilde/dot bash rc. And let's clear this out. And we're going to say, I'm going to comment this one out. So I'm going to just do #source.profile. And this tilde/dot profile. And the reason why I'm commenting that out is because I want you to see that is exactly the same as doing this. This is the shorthand way. And these do exactly the same thing. So I'm going to press Control X and Y to save. And then I'm going to do the same thing for ZSH. So I'm going to use the previous command and just edit ZSHRC. And now instead of using grep color here, I am going to source my .profile tilde/dot profile. And I'm going to close and save. Okay. Now nano your .profile. Now in here, we're going to do something silly. We're going to say alias poop equals, and then we're going to press Control Command Spacebar, and we're going to select our poop emoji, and then we're going to close out the quote mark and press Control X, Y, then Enter. Now, here's the magic. So if I go into ZSH, I've just loaded a new ZSH terminal, so it's sourced.zshrc, and inside of that file it said source.profile. And so if I say poop, command not found, poop. And so the reason why it says command not found, poop, is because I didn't say echo. So let's go back in and open our bash, and we'll nano our tilde/dot profile, and let's say echo. And now I'm going to use single quote inside of the double quotes. So if I was to use a double quote here, it would close out this double quote. And I don't want to do that. I want the double quote to encase the entire thing. So double quotes are on the outside and single quotes are just encasing the poop. All right, so now I've echoed it and I press Y and I save. All right, clear. Now if I load ZSH and I say poop, it's gonna load the poop. And if I open bash and I say poop, it's gonna load the poop. And I don't have to make a bunch of changes. I just make one change to one file, and now I have customizations. Now, what happens if I say alias poop equals echo no? Now I run poop. What happens? Now I found no poop. And ironically, in most cases you would want to find no poop, but I already set this in my profile. So which one takes precedence? And the one that's in memory will always take precedence. And if you set an alias in of your bash profile and say this equals in the terminal, then it's loaded in memory in this current session. So if I close this session out and I go to ZSH and then I come back to bash and I say poop, it's going to be the poop emoji. It won't be no poop. And that's pretty much aliases in a nutshell. If this was confusing, don't worry. You'll get really comfortable with aliases as we go along. We'll create some aliases and it'll be a little bit less confusing. But the other point that I really wanted to drive home was that we glazed over source. And so I'm going to go back into cat my dot bash rc. I forgot the dot. So inside of this, I'm saying source. And while I said one command does the same thing as the other, I didn't explain what this command does. So source tells the terminal to look inside of this directory and find any commands that are there and then make them available to the prompt. And so anytime I source, I'm adding a command to my terminal. I'm making it aware of a command. And this leads into the next topic of path. So path is located here. And so we're going to look at it and then discuss it in the next video. So echo $PATH in all caps. So path is doing the same thing as source, but what it's doing is there are these directories that our terminal is going to look into for commands, and they're colon separated values. So every time you see a colon, that's a new place that it's going to search, and it's going to find any commands that are there and make them available to the terminal. And if you recall at the very beginning of this, I had specified that, hey, anytime you run ./hello world.sh, it's not going to find it unless you're in the right directory. So you'd have to .source dev/bash/hello world.sh, and then it would run. And this isn't ideal because you might run this command anywhere on your computer. So we're going to learn how to put this command inside of our path so that we can call this command anytime from anywhere. All right, I'll see you in the next video.